Today you are going to be showing your teacher what you have learned and what you know about time. It is also really important today that you are reading the instructions really thoroughly to make sure that you're completing the task correctly. So I'm going to run through some of the basic instructions and then you might like to have a read over the set task yourself. The first thing that you are going to do is you're going to click here to play the game in ABC year. Now, when we are using ABC year, you do not have a login and you don't need to log in. When you get to this page, I would like you to have a think about what time you find really easy. I know for myself that I see digital time on my oven, I see it on my computer, and I see it on my iPad all the time. So I know that I might like to practice analog time. If you think that analog time is really, really easy and you've had lots of practice, then you might like to practice digital time. Once you've had a go at the game, have a think about your learning. Have a think about if there are some parts of the game that you found really easy or if there were some parts that you found to be a little bit tricky. Have a think about what you need to practice when we are learning about time. It is really important for you to reflect on your learning today because we are giving you 4 different worksheets to help you practice telling the time. But for today, you are only going to select one worksheet which is relevant to your learning. This means you are picking one worksheet which you might find to be a little bit challenging. We don't want you to pick something that's too easy, but we don't want you to pick something that is way too hard. So we've got some different options for you. We have got a worksheet on telling the time using o'clock and half past. We've got a worksheet on telling the time using quarter to and quarter past, telling the time to the nearest 5 or 10 minutes, and telling the time to the nearest minute. If you are a little bit stuck and you think that you need to choose a activity that might be a little bit easier, that is completely fine. We don't want to see you picking an activity that's really, really hard because you're only completing one worksheet. So your teacher's only going to see one worksheet. Here are what the worksheets look like. You will need to fill in the table to include an analog clock, a digital clock, and a worded time. So I can see in the first question that the analog clock is showing me 7 o'clock. So I'm going to go ahead and write 7 o'clock in my digital time, and I'm going to write 7 o'clock in my worded time. For the next question, I can see that I've been given the digital time and I need to show it on my analog clock. If you are completing your worksheet using Microsoft Word or using your computer or iPad, you can click in Insert, Shapes, and you can find an arrow that sort of looks like a hand of the clock. And I'm going to draw my small hand, which is my hour hand, facing at the 11th hour. And I'm going to grab another arrow to show that it's 11:30 and see how I've made it really clear that one hand is a small hand and one hand is a big hand. And in here I'm going to write half past 11. Okay. If you are getting a little bit stuck, I have popped in a video here that you can watch to refresh your memory of how to use an analog clock. But if you don't need to watch it, that's okay. That's only here for if you're getting stuck. This activity is due by Sunday, the 23rd of August, and your teachers are really, really looking forward to seeing your work today. We are really looking forward to seeing what you've learned and to seeing what you know. We are also looking forward to seeing that you are picking an activity, so one of these, which is going to help your learning. So have a fantastic day and we can't wait to see your work.